We're at the halfway point here in Season 2 of our realistic Borussia Dortmund career mode, and so far, things haven't gone as well as we would have hoped. We were optimistic heading into the season, but we currently only find ourselves in 5th position in the Bundesliga, and it's been a similarly disappointing story in the Champions League, where only 2 wins out of our 6 games leaves us down in 19th place. However, with the calendar ticking over into January, we do have an opportunity to improve our squad and to improve our prospects heading into the second half of the season. And in addition to our transfer business, we're going to have a very busy fixture list here in January as well. So busy that I'm going to be playing 4 games in today's episode rather than the usual 3. Our trip to Wolfsburg late in the month will be our featured game of today's episode. I'll show you highlights of our opener against Stuttgart as we host Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga and as we travel to Athletic Bilbao in the Champions League. And we will quick sim our remaining games against Hoffenheim, against Young Boys, and against RB Leipzig to round out the month of January. But the first order of business is to take care of a couple of expiring contracts, and I think we saw enough from Giovanni Reina in the previous episode to offer him a 1-year extension. I'm unwilling to go beyond a year though, and he's unwilling to settle for anything less than 2. So unfortunately, we are not going to be able to get that deal over the line. Reina's had a point to prove in the last couple of episodes, and although he has somewhat risen to that challenge, we simply cannot commit to him for more than a single year. Salih Özcan too has had a point to prove this season, but injury, unfortunately, has thrown a spanner in the works for him. However, again, I am willing to offer him a 1-year extension if he's willing to accept. With that centre-half player role, Özcan is a very useful player to have in the side, and he is willing to accept a 1-year extension with a rotation squad role, and with a moderate pay rise, he is more than willing to sign on the dotted line. And all of our contract extensions and of course transfers will be processed through the squad tab on Buzzko's CoreDNA companion tool, and we'll be processing not only incoming but also outgoing transfers, including Niklas Söller, who has rejoined his former club Bayern Munich for 30 million euros, which takes our total transfer budget remaining this season up to about 85 million euros. And while Söller was our 2nd highest overall defender, he struggled with injury in the past. He's continued to struggle with consistency here in Season 2, and I would much prefer to have that money to reinvest in the squad. And that's exactly what we are looking to do here with the 23-year-old centre-back Bekir Omaradcic of Montpellier. Whilst the transfer is overwhelmingly realistic, according to Buzzko's realistic buying calculator, we are not guaranteed to be able to sign Omaradcic until Montpellier agree the price, and a bid of 20 million is not enough to get a deal done. We will, however, be looping back around to put in another bid for Omaradcic, and in the meantime, we are going to be pursuing a wide midfielder, and that's going to be Kaoru Mitoma. Today's video is sponsored by Enigma Football, the UK's leading supplier of football shirt mystery boxes. Whether you're looking for a fun way to expand your own football shirt collection, or you're looking for a unique gift for the diehard football fan in your life, Enigma Football have got you covered. Their mystery boxes start at just $34.99, which is almost half the standard retail price, and you can be 100% sure that their shirts are authentic because they get them straight from the clubs and manufacturers themselves. And you can reduce that price even further by using code LAMBZY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. That code applies to any single football shirt mystery box, and it also applies to the first month of any mystery box subscription package, where you receive a fresh new shirt on your doorstep every single month. You can be sure you'll get a shirt that you like too. You can ask Enigma Football to send you a shirt from a specific league with a specific color or pattern, or to avoid certain teams, and if you still don't like what they send, you have 60 days to either return or exchange it. So head over to Enigma Football and place your order today. The link is in the description, and be sure to use code LAMBZY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. Shout out to Enigma Football for sponsoring the video and for hooking me up with a couple of shirts, including a Dortmund shirt for this series. Now let's get back to the video. I think we've missed a true difference maker on the left-hand side. I think it's been a bit of a vacuum going forward for us at times, and Mitoma could really change that. So we are going to attempt to purchase him with a 38 million euro offer. And Brighton have agreed to the offer in-game, but we'll have to see if it's a realistic offer too. And indeed, Brighton agree. Kaoru Mitoma agrees. So Mitoma will indeed become our first signing here in January. And he offers us a little something different on that left-hand side. He's no slouch, but he doesn't quite have the pace of Jamie Gittins, Karim Adeyemi, Max Bayer. But he does have skill and technical ability in abundance, and that little bit of flair about him that can change a game in the blink of an eye. And that's why we've laid out not only 38 million euros, but a record-breaking 38 million euros. The transfer breaking the previous record of Ousmane Dembele by 3 million. So Mitoma will slot in at left midfield immediately as we take on Stuttgart in our opening game of today's episode. Eric Martel starts in midfield today alongside Felix Emecha, and Yan Couto, thankfully, is back in that attack and wing back role. The first goal of the game was maybe not one of the prettiest ones we've scored, but Kaoru Mitoma was involved, nodding the ball down for Felix Emecha. His shot was initially saved, but Moukoko was on hand to fire home the rebound. It was a sloppy game in the snow, to be fair. Lots of defensive mistakes, lots of second balls and rebounds. Julian Brandt almost scored a similarly sloppy goal. Both teams, in spite of the conditions though, were able to play some good football throughout the 92. And unfortunately, throughout the 90, despite the fact that we led for the duration, you could see the result coming from a mile off. As in the 85th minute, Stuttgart crossed towards the back post where Ryerson had left his man completely unmarked, trying to play the offside trap, and they fired home the equaliser. It's been the story of our season so far, really. Defensive inconsistency and disappointment. Throwing away results late in the game, whether that's 3 points and only taking a draw, or coming away with absolutely nothing when we should have at least held on to a point. But perhaps Bekir Omaracic will be able to help out with that. We are going to call Montpellier once more, this time with a bid of 28 million euros. And this time, both they and Omaracic accept. Omaracic is a player I've had my eye on in a handful of other saves for quite some time now. And the fact that he does now have a real player face just puts this over the line for me. But he is a young, ball-playing centre-back with a lot of room to grow and a lot of potential to fulfill. And not only that, but interestingly, he does have the CDM centre-half player role in his arsenal as well. Next, 6'2", he does have a bit of a tweener body type, so I think he could fulfill either of those roles for us, and it does give us a bit of flexibility going forward, especially if we do move on from Sally Özcan in the long term. But Omaracic will have to wait to make his debut for Borussia Dortmund. Kaoru Mitoma starts here again in our second game of the episode against Hoffenheim at home, and again we only managed to come away with a draw. Really disappointing back-to-back results. Plojek actually opens the scoring for Hoffenheim. Anton equalizing just about 15 minutes later. But to only come away with 2 points from Hoffenheim and Stuttgart is disappointing to say the least. Looking over the fixtures list at the beginning of the episode, I was hoping to head into this Bayern Munich match with a little bit of momentum, but yet again, we are fighting against our recent form. And we've seen the kind of attacking threat that Bayern Munich can pose once already this season, and they matched their effort here today. It was a slightly different front four from the one that we saw before, but it didn't stop them from creating numerous opportunities. This one from Harry Kane going just over the bar. And although we defended admirably in the first half, we couldn't prevent Bayern Munich from taking the lead. However, just 3 minutes into the second half, after more excellent defending, we hit Bayern Munich on a quick counter-attack. Yan Couto pulled it back for Youssoufa Moukoko, who leveled the scoring. And from there, we had to dig deep because Bayern Munich weren't willing to come away from Signal Iduna Park with anything less than 3 points. However, it wouldn't be Bayern Munich, the team to come away with all 3 points. It would be Borussia Dortmund. Max Bayer coming on and scoring the winner with about 10 minutes left on the clock. And since we were a goal up with just 10 minutes left to play, the CPU was up to its old tricks. We were barely able to touch the ball in the final 10 minutes, even when we were almost standing on top of it. However, for once, we did manage to hold on. An enormous performance, an enormous result, and that completely changes our outlook here in January. Because before that game, we were expecting to have taken 2 points from our opening 3 fixtures and to have been extremely disappointed. Instead, we're unbeaten in the month of January and we've taken 5 of a possible 9. So it's not exactly easy being a Borussia Dortmund fan at the moment, but my God, is it entertaining. We're hoping for a bit more of a run-of-the-mill performance against Young Boys in the Champions League here, though. Should be a comfortable victory, and it is. Guirassy with a couple of goals in the second half. And indeed, he did grab a hat-trick in the game, opening the scoring in 15 minutes. Young Boys missed a penalty, which could have changed things. But Guirassy grabs 2 more in the second half to secure a comfortable 3-0 victory. And all of a sudden, things are looking a little rosier as we head into our featured game in the episode against Wolfsburg. At the beginning of the episode, Wolfsburg were above us in the table, but we've actually managed to leapfrog them at this stage. However, I think they will continue to be one of our main competitors for that 4th and final Champions League place come the end of the season. So without further ado, let's head over to the Volkswagen Arena and see if we can get an all-important win away from home. So I think this game could prove to be a real inflection point, not only here in January, but also just here in Season 2 in general. We've been on a run of pretty disappointing form in recent episodes, culminating in those back-to-back draws to begin today's episode. That win over Bayern Munich just came out of nowhere. And all of a sudden we look poised to turn our season around, really. Still very much in the hunt for a Champions League place in the Bundesliga. Still very much in the hunt for a place in the knockout stages of the Champions League this year. Shot from range, comfortably wide. And we are, of course, still in the hunt for a trophy in the DFB Pokal. Only played 1 game in that competition so far, that win over Frankfurt. And it does look to be our only opportunity for a trophy this season. But I think we can certainly consider ourselves to be a team that can throw their hat in the ring. Mitoma has certainly looked decent since he's joined. And I think he could prove to be a real difference maker on the left-hand side as Felix Metscher cuts that one out. Just lays it off for Jan Kuto with space to drive. Felix, of course, playing against his older brother, Lucas, I want to say. Zabitzer. Can't quite find Mitoma. But I think Mitoma will fit in nicely on that left-hand side. I think he could prove to be a real difference maker. And again, as we said earlier in the episode, offer us something a little bit different from the likes of Jamie Gittins, Karim Adeyemi. Great challenge from Schlotterbeck. Benzabaini finds Julian Brandt, who finds Mitoma. And Zabitzer is up in support. Oh, and Mitoma doesn't quite find him, but it's a dreadful mistake from the Wolfsburg defender, and Zabitzer goes with his left. I'm trying to curl that into the far corner with his right foot. Why he's opted to go with his left there, I have no idea. I really feel like sometimes these players don't really understand what their strong foot is, because it made total sense for Zabitzer to go with his stronger right foot there, and instead he goes with his left. Benzabaini straight at the keeper. Decent start to this game though. Yusufa Moukoko starts up front. I was planning to go with Guirassy for this one, but he is a little short of match fitness. Does have a place on the bench, so we may well turn to Guirassy late in this game if we are chasing a result. But for now, it continues to be Moukoko. Schlotterbeck steps wide, or steps narrow rather, allows the Wolfsburg player to get a shot in from that wider position, which Gregor Kobel comfortably parries away. Two solid hands at his near post. As Julian Brandt just inside. I feel like Julian Brandt used to play for Wolfsburg, did he not? And that's a terrible pass. And that's an equally terrible pass, to be fair, by Felix Metscher. We had a chance to hit Wolfsburg on a quick counter-attack there. We may still have that opportunity. But no thanks to Felix Metscher. Does collect the ball here. Zabica just tries to cut inside and drive. Jan Kuto in space on that right-hand side. Couldn't find him. Valdemar Anton has stepped up, has got it all wrong. And Benzabaini's got it all wrong with giving away a penalty. Absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal. Disastrous defending yet again. And we've slid in there to try and block the cross. The Wolfsburg player has just tried to pull it back, keep the ball in play. We've taken him out. It's going to be a penalty. Lucas Metscher sends Kobel the wrong way. Puts Wolfsburg 1-0 up 15 minutes into the game. We continue to defend poorly. We continue to be at odds at the back. And it's costing us again here against Wolfsburg. I don't think we need to worry too much just yet. Still a lot of football yet to be played. And we've looked relatively comfortable up until that moment. But again, we're going to have to come back from behind if we're going to get a result here away from home. So we will look to do exactly that. It feels like Wolfsburg are there for the taking, to be fair. I feel like if we start to actually play football, then we can still win this game for sure. That's a rash challenge. Matoma tries to cut inside. Could be a booking here. Benzabaini got away without a booking. But it looks as though the Wolfsburg player will pick one up. Go with the black kits today. I think this might be the first time we played with the black kits the entire series so far. Yellow just an easy colour to wear, to be fair. Doesn't clash with too many kits, so we tend to just wear our home kits. Offed it into the box. Metscher knocks it down, and I think Matoma's going to be offside. Wolfsburg could clear anyway. Kuto collects. Finds Zabica. Finds Julian Brandt. Matoma wants it. Matoma gets it. Tries to slide it in behind for Makoko. But cut out. Matoma steals it back, though. And finds Julian Brandt on the edge of the box. Curls one towards the far corner. And it takes a big deflection. Beats the keeper. But bounces back off the top of the bar. Julian Brandt once more. Kuto can't quite find him. Didn't quite get enough power on the pass. Well cut out by Kuto, though. And we will find him on the overlapping run once again here. Karim Adeyemi inside. Can he get the shot away? Not quite. Not quite. Promising signs, though, as we look to get back into this game. Wolfsburg managed to collect and settle, though. And work the ball down our right-hand side. Kuto puts a stop to that, though. I think we'll probably step up into our push tactics before too long. Because I would like a goal back before half-time. Excellent defending from Anton. Does force it out for a goal kick. And I think we'll step up into our push tactics right now. Want a goal back sooner rather than later. I'm still intent on winning this game. The pass is just nowhere close. It's just nowhere close to where I was aiming. Just simply nowhere close. Parried away by Kobel, though. Metscher stands the ball up. Czerny for Wolfsburg. Sends it back to Fischer. Czerny once more. 3 defenders in the area. Just kind of lofted up towards Yusuf and Makoko. I think we will have a free kick here for something. So Schlotterbeck will just play it into the feet of Metscher. Benzabaini. Matoma. Benzabaini once more. Wolfsburg just sitting back now that they have the lead. That's a poor pass. We can't force things. We can't force things. We have to continue to play patiently, especially now that Wolfsburg are going to sit back a little more with the lead. We can't be forcing passes like that and giving the ball back to Wolfsburg too cheaply. We have to make them earn possession. Defending again from Anton. Kuto can't win it back. Anton there again. Kuto can't quite hook clear. And the Wolfsburg man is offside. So half an hour into the game, Wolfsburg proving to be tricky opposition. Which, to be fair, I did anticipate. Didn't expect an easy game by any means. Mitoma, Adeyemi in so much space. It's a perfect ball from Mitoma out towards Adeyemi, who cuts inside. Oh, can't quite lay it off to Moukoko. But reminiscent of our Crystal Palace series earlier in the year, those big sweeping balls out from the left towards that attacker who very much stays high on the right-hand side. We'll try and find Adeyemi there again. We had a lot of success with Luca Kolyosho with those kind of passing patterns in that Crystal Palace career. Moukoko gets the shot away, and it's wide. That's better. That's better. We just need to continue to create those kind of opportunities. Decent enough strike from Moukoko. Just dragged it slightly, but that's very close. Beat the keeper. Beat the far post as well, unfortunately. Short from the keeper. Moukoko pressing. Both Mitoma and Brandt will join to do the same. Oh, that's... pass just about beats Benzabaini. Kobel has to get there and does. And we'll find Kuto on the right-hand side. Schlotterbeck. Mecha. Anton. Kuto. Adeyemi in behind again on the right-hand side. Mitoma arriving at the back post. We'll try and find him. We don't quite manage it. And hooked clear by Wolfsburg. Only as far as Zavica though. And Kuto wants the ball on the overlap. He will get it. He will drive. It's going to be Moukoko the target this time. Too far in front of him. Too close to the keeper. And it's easy for him to collect. Space on Wolfsburg left now. Our right-hand side that does tend to venture further forward than our defensive left. With Kuto on that attacking wing-back role and Adeyemi set to inside forward attack. Definitely found more success with the tiki-taka game plan. It's another big save from Kobel. Really nicely worked from Wolfsburg. Definitely finding more success with tiki-taka rather than the custom tactical preset. Just being able to utilise those expert coaches. Schlotterbeck has to get out there. He does. Gets the block in. Kobel claims. Mitoma's in space. And again, I'm spotting Adeyemi on that far side. We've put too much on it this time. Slightly too much on it. Adeyemi has the beating of every single Wolfsburg defender for pace, though. Undoubtedly. I think we've got an offside here from the goal kick. And indeed we do. So wanted an equaliser before half-time. It doesn't look as though we're going to get one. Potentially time to create one final opportunity before the half-time whistle. As we find Julian Brandt. Kuto in space on the far side. Don't really want to cross the ball in. We don't really have targets in the box. But Brandt will just lay it off for Zabica. He will just turn back. Finds Adeyemi. And Mecha arriving late. Cleared before he could get the shot away. Schlotterbeck will find Moukoko, who in turn will find Mitoma. Moukoko once again. This is nicely worked. And Adeyemi will get a shot away from range. Blocked by Wolfsburg. I think we're going to get a free kick on the edge of the box here, though. And Julian Brandt has an excellent opportunity to tie this game up on the stroke of half-time. What, 19 yards out? Just outside the penalty area. However, it's going to be tough to get it up and down. because it is so close. And we've not got enough power. No, blocked by the wall. Brandt's going to have another opportunity. Gets the shot away. Blocked once again. And there goes the referee's halftime whistle. Golden opportunity to tie things up at the half. Julian Brandt couldn't get the ball up and over the wall and back down to beat the goalkeeper. But it is going to be that Lucas Metzger goal from the penalty spot that separates us from Wolfsburg at half-time, or separates Wolfsburg from us, really, at half-time. Promising signs, though. We worked our way back into the game in that first half. And I think we're well placed to try and level things up and potentially go on to get the win in the second. If you're enjoying the game and today's episode, please take a second to like the video. And if you want to see more realistic FC25 content, be sure to subscribe, not just to catch the next episode of this series, but other realistic career modes, realistic rebuilds, slider updates that might be dropping in the future. And if you want to get ahead of the curve and see those kinds of videos before anybody else, consider becoming a 12th man member of the channel. Membership starts at just $1.99 a month and grants you exclusive early access to all new videos, with tier rewards scaling up from there and including the possibility of being featured in my career mode saves. Thank you to everyone who is already supporting the channel through their membership. It is genuinely very much appreciated and helps the channel to run. But now let's head back out for the second half. So no changes for either side as we come back out for the second half. But just a change in mindset. We are already in our push tactics. And I think before too long we're going to step up into our attacking variation of those push tactics. Metzger can't win the ball back. Benzabaini does enough to stop the cross initially. It's overloaded. Out on that left-hand side, though. Great challenge, Julian Brandt. Don't blow the whistle, ref. He doesn't. Can't find Julian Brandt on the break, though. Oh, and Metzger can't quite win the ball back. Thought we were well positioned there and timed the tackle well. Apparently not. Nicely worked by Wolfsburg. Another good block from Schlotterbeck. Made it a difficult save for Kobel. But he does manage to parry away at his near post. And the ball squirms out for a corner, which is just about headed clear by Schlotterbeck. And that will fall for Julian Brandt. And Matoma is in space on this left-hand side and is going to be able to drive at the Wolfsburg back line. Oh, and Moukoko, you have to be on the front foot there. He was in so much space. And that's the problem with false 9. Moukoko's looking to drop in there rather than get in behind. And that's the issue with the preset tactics. You're locked into certain player roles. I would prefer, ideally, to have Moukoko. Great challenge, Metzger. To have Moukoko on something like Poacher. We have managed to trigger a run in behind this time, and Moukoko will just find Adeyemi at the back post. What an unreal save! How has he saved that? Oh, how has he managed to save that? Just throws out a foot. A beautifully worked counter-attack. Moukoko finds Adeyemi in acres of space at the back post. The keeper just throws out a foot. Kicks it onto the post. And Wolfsburg somehow are still ahead. Adeyemi. Burst of pace and strength to get away from the Wolfsburg defender, and his shot is wide. Oh, if we come to rue that opportunity at the end of the game, I can see this game ending 1-0, and we will look back on that chance and wonder how we didn't tie things up. Absolutely unreal save. Absolutely unreal. Schlotterbeck can't win the header. Metzger wins it back. Metzger's played very well today. Continues to play well in whichever of those two defensive midfield roles we play him in. Whether at centre-half or in that deep-line playmaker role. Great run from Matoma. Pulls it back. Why does Metzger not want the ball there? The initial pass was clearly intended for him. Instead, it triggers and locks onto Moukoko. And then I lay it off with Moukoko for Metzger, and he wants absolutely no part of it. Unreal. 2 opportunities there to get a shot away with the Metro, and he didn't want the ball. It just would not lock onto him. Matoma wins the header. Moukoko finds Matoma once again. He's going to just either have to turn back or get the shot away. Finally, we get Metro on the edge of the box. Carried away again by the keeper. It's what I wanted moments ago. Looks like Wolfsburg are going to make a change. And indeed they will. I think we'll keep things as they are for now. Because we are knocking on the door here. Schlotterbeck can't win the header. Balls from Moukoko. And he's handled it. Get Moukoko off the field. He has been awful today. So Moukoko will indeed leave the field, as will Marcel Sabitzer. So Guirassy to come on. And Martel to come on in midfield as well. So Martel will, of course, drop into that centre-half role. Mecha will shift over to the defensive, to the rather deep-line playmaker role. So he'll be getting forward a little more. Martel dropping in between the two centre-backs to link the play from the back. Oh, and we're going to be 2-0 down. Unreal move. Absolutely unreal move. Just picked us apart. Absolutely sliced us open. Wolfsburg 2-0 up somehow. Unreal. Schlotterbeck beaten. Anton can't track the running behind. Great finish from Mecha. 2-0. This game is over. And so, yeah, we are going to come to... What is that pass? We are going to come to rue that missed opportunity from Karim Adeyemi, because we failed to tie things up. Wolfsburg doubled their lead, and we're not going to be able to get back into the game from here. Played off from Martel, strikes from range, blocked. Absolutely unreal. So Wolfsburg probably going to leapfrog us again. Not 100% sure they can, based on points, to be fair. Matoma breaks. Guess we'll bring Jamie Gittens on at some point. Maybe Max Bayer as well. It's a great ball over to Jan Kuto, though. And we probably should have played Karim Adeyemi in behind there. Guirassy. Too many Wolfsburg defenders. Kuto. We find Julian Brandt. Taking up the best position there, to be honest. Martel drives, though. Can't get the shot away himself. Just finds Matoma, and there's Brandt in the box, gets the shot away, blocked. Just can't break Wolfsburg down. They've just defended so deep. There's just been so many blocked shots in this game. They've defended their penalty box admirably, to be fair. What a save that is from Kobel. Oh my God. Schlotterbeck almost putting it in the back of his own net. He's inconsistent as Lacazette comes on for Wolfsburg. He's inconsistent. Nico Schlotterbeck. For the most part, he's been absolutely unreal, but he just has these games where he just has an absolute howler. And today's been one of those, to be fair. It's a great challenge, but the ref's going to give him a free kick. It's an unreal challenge, and the ref's going to punish it. And Wolfsburg have a free kick in a fairly similar area, fairly similar distance from goal to Julian Brandt in the first half. They get theirs up and over the wall and on target. Where? Where are you throwing that? Kuto breaks. Adeyemi. Guirassy in behind. Adeyemi finds him. And there's Jan Kuto. Gets the shot away, and what an unreal save again. Absolutely insane save from the Wolfsburg keeper. He's been the difference in this game. So 2 more changes as Jan Kuto and Kaoru Matoma leave the field. Jamie Gittens on. Julian Ryerson on as well. And Julian Brandt will deliver the corner. Schlotterbeck gets his head on it. It's going to go out for a throw-in. Adeyemi delivers. Too close to the keeper. Really frustrating game, really disappointing result. I mean, it's not the final result just yet, but I mean, Ryerson, are you just going to stand there? Just stand there and watch him take it down, like 10 yards behind you? Kobel claims. Schlotterbeck finds Brandt. Martel. He's going to have to drive forward. Jamie Gittins is drifting in off that left-hand side, and why, I have no idea. He's not set to do that. Adeyemi. Back to Ryerson. And Brandt. Martel. Turns away from the Wolfsburg defender, and the midfielder there was... Oh, Jamie Gittins is offside. Jesus. Wolfsburg midfielder there was slightly camouflaged. Of course, they're wearing all green. I didn't really see him. And then he appeared out of nowhere. So I had to force a different pass, and Gittins was offside. Lacazette finds Mahler, finds Wimmer. Plays it in behind from Mahler. Headed but wide. We're going to get back into this game and get at least a point. We have to score within the next couple of minutes, you would imagine. LAMBZY. I've just accidentally clicked past there. Didn't mean to press that at all. Julian Brandt. Nice feet. Beats his man. Jamie Gittins, make a run. Literally at any point. Good Lord, what an awful pass. Brandt is just going to have to deliver. Does. Towards Adeyemi. Adeyemi can't win the header. Hooked clear by Wolfsburg. We just haven't had the creativity, the precision in the final third to make a difference today. We've had opportunities in the game, but we just have not been clinical in the final third. We haven't asked enough questions of Wolfsburg. Ryerson brings it down. Adeyemi cuts inside. Ryerson on the overlap. Drive at the penalty area once again. Could potentially have had a penalty there if we just left our leg in. And Gittins takes a tumble at the back post. Still no penalty. Gittins. Good feet. Just has to turn back to Julian Brandt though. And Eric Martel. LAMBZY. It might have even been Anton stepping up. I think it was. Julian Brandt. Just deliver with the outside of his foot. Finds Anton. I put far too much on it. Brandt, can he get the shot away? Looks like he might be able to, and he does. It's blocked. Another unreal block from a Wolfsburg defender. They have defended their penalty area and their 6-yard box absolutely unbelievably today. I think we've done enough to get a point out of this game, you know. Header is wide from Garassi. I think we've done enough to get a point out of this game. The number of block shots. A couple of unreal saves from the Wolfsburg keeper. I think we deserve a point. I think we've not actually played that poorly. A couple of really poor defensive moments have cost us the goals. Other than that, we've not been too bad. As 2 minutes of added time held aloft on the board. Wolfsburg are going to, in the end, look like comfortable winners. I don't think that necessarily tells the true story of the game. Adeyemi somehow manages to squeeze it through to Garassi. He does pull one back. However, there's 5 seconds left on the clock. 2-1 is going to look a bit more like a scoreline that tells a more accurate story of the game, to be fair. But like I say, I think we've done enough to get a draw. And we're not going to get one. I wouldn't be surprised if the referee blew his whistle as soon as Wolfsburg take this kickoff. And he does. So another defeat. Had a real opportunity to turn our season around here against Wolfsburg. And it's another squandered opportunity. And it's starting to look like this is going to be a bit of a lost season. It's starting to look as though we're going to have to fight and claw our way through the remaining games over the second half of the season simply to qualify for the Champions League, simply to make sure we progress to the knockout stages of the Champions League this season, rather than to go on and achieve the things we were hoping to achieve. And based on the match facts, we have done more than enough to get a draw from this game. 57% possession, 4 additional shots over Wolfsburg, more passes attempted, fairly similar pass accuracy. And Wolfsburg do indeed leapfrog us in the table once again. So we're currently on the outside looking in not only for a Champions League place, not even for a Europa League place. We'll currently just be in the Europa Conference League at this stage. And it is European football on the agenda here in our 6th and penultimate game of the episode as Bekir Omaragic makes his first start for Borussia Dortmund as we travel to Athletic Bilbao. And if we thought we had pace in abundance, Athletic Bilbao had just as much. Nico Williams causing real issues for us down the left-hand side. His initial shot went wide, but when he slipped Hernandez in behind, it was only a big save from Gregor Kerbel that kept things level. We had a number of opportunities in the first half too, though, this being one of the best. A very similarly placed free kick from Julian Brandt. This time he hit the bar. However, we would take the lead in the game just before the half-time break. Max Bayer cutting inside onto his right foot, unleashing from outside the box and putting the ball in off the post. However, again, we failed to do enough defensively to take the win in the game. Sanset scoring an equally good goal to level things up. Which brings us to our 7th and final game of the episode as we take on RB Leipzig again, this time at home. And it is yet another draw. I believe that makes it 4 draws on the episode. Miguel opening the scoring before getting sent off 10 minutes later for RB Leipzig. Despite having a man advantage for a good hour or so, we can only manage a draw. Adeyemi grabbing the equaliser 20 minutes from time, which means our season is starting to look very much like the season that Borussia Dortmund are having in real life. We've dropped down to 7th position in the Bundesliga. However, we have managed to make it through to the playoff portion of the knockout stages of the Champions League. We finished the league portion in 19th, and that does mean we are going to be paired against Atletico Madrid in the next round. So February could be a very interesting month indeed. We have some fairly easy Bundesliga fixtures. We failed to really take advantage of our easy matchup so far this season, but potentially that could change as we take on Freiburg, Bochum and Hertha Berlin. We'll be taking on Freiburg again in the DFB Pokal as well. And the toughest matches of next month, of course, should prove to be Atletico Madrid home and away. However, the calendar has not yet ticked over into February. We are still at deadline day here in January. And on deadline day, we have received an offer for one of our players. It's Gregor Kobel. It's Manchester City. It's 107 million euros. And with a minus 4.7 realism rating, a 0% retain chance, we are forced to negotiate with Manchester City. Gregor Kobel is intent on leaving Borussia Dortmund. And that is where I will leave you for today's episode. Gregor Kobel's future hangs in the balance. Based on our recent form, Nuri Sahin's future hangs in the balance. And we will see how things play out in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.